Let's go down to the ATL, and Haynes King joins us right here on ACC PM. Haynes, first of all, pleasure having you on the show. Congratulations. As we were talking during the break, we've heard from Coach a bunch, the real competition to be the starter. And I know when you made the transfer to Georgia Tech, this was the goal, to be the man under center to start things off against Louisville. So congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you.
And that had to be tough, right? I mean, the one thing we've heard over and over and over, we saw it on the camp tours as well, and Coach was not messing around and even said, guess what, everybody's going to get a chance to play because I've got a really talented room at quarterback. But what was the difference for you as far as why you believe that, guess what, there was some separation and I should be the starting quarterback?
Like you said, at the end of the day, it was a tough battle, tough competition. It came down to the wire, and it started the first day that it came on, that I arrived on campus. I think probably at the end of the day, maybe being a little older, having a little bit experience in big-time games, playing in the SEC this past year, probably set me a little bit ahead, which also helped my IQ, the football IQ.
What was it like hearing the news from Brent Key? Because I'm sure he spoke to you all separately and did your thing, and maybe to you guys as a group. What was that process like in finding out you were going to be the starting QB?
He brought us in one by one. He told us straight up. And like I said in that video, I was happy. Had a big smile on my face, but yet not relief, because I know relief, you'll start getting complacent. You would think that you arrived, and as an athlete, especially in the ACC, you have not arrived at any part of the day, because then you start relaxing. People under you start getting better, getting more reps, and end up passing you up.
Haynes, one of the things that we've talked to your head coach about as far as the offseason now in the fall camp is this year for Georgia Tech being able to make some plays downfield. What can you tell us about that wide receiver core? Because I know that's one of the things Coach has emphasized, and that is we're going to find some playmakers and throw this thing downfield a little bit.
Oh yeah, our wide receiver core, we have a lot of experience there as well. Some players, they can get after it, they can run, they can catch. They're actually smart too. Their football IQ is pretty good, and that will also help them. And I mean, right now as a team, offense, as an offense, we're working on consistency, and that goes back to all the four pillars that we have for this team. It's toughness, discipline, execution, and commitment. Every play, it goes down to that. And are you doing those four things? And every time we do that, the consistency level will continue to rise, and everything else will fall in place.
And you said those wide receivers are smart, man. You're at Georgia Tech. You're in the ACC now, my man. Everybody at Georgia Tech's smart. That's just a given to go to the good school down there in the ATL. That's a given.
No doubt. Yes, sir, it is.
As you've been going through this process, you come to Georgia Tech and you're now learning from Chris Weinke, who's a Heisman Trophy winner, a co-OC and quarterbacks coach there. What have you learned from one of the greats in Coach Weinke?
The biggest deal is, simplify it. Everybody in football, they try to make things too hard or harder than what it actually is, At the end of the day, you got to simplify it to be able to play fast. If too many things are going through your head, your feet, they're not going to be intact with what your eyes are seeing. The throw's not going to be consistent. You're not going to be consistently accurate. So the biggest deal is simplifying everything in your head so you can play fast.
By the way, have you guys started install yet against Louisville? Was that coming up?
We've kind of had an introduction to it, not all the way yet. Like I said earlier, we're still working on consistency within the offense. So it's probably going to be picking up pretty shortly here.
Yeah, and by the way, I kind of like the fact you get a conference game right out of the gate. And Louisville is going to be an interesting team to watch as well. And I said this earlier, to me, this is one of those kind of games that's going to kind of fly underneath the radar a little bit while everybody's going to be talking about like Florida State, LSU, and all that kind of stuff, and rightfully so. But this is a really critical game. It just feels like it for both sides. Conference game, and really two programs that are like, hey, this could be the perfect jump point take off and go crazy in 23?
Yes, I would agree. I mean, both teams, they have different coaches, new coaches. Both teams have a lot of transfers. So, I mean, at the end of the day, you're looking and you're like, I really don't know what to expect on game one, but we have an idea of what's going to happen. But at the end of the day, both offenses, they're explosive. Defenses, they're both of them, they're going to play sound defense. Let the guys up front attack and the back end rally behind them. So, I mean, at the end of the day, it's going to be a fun game. Not a lot of people know what to expect. Like you said, it is under the radar, but once you break it down like that, it'd definitely be a game to watch.
What's your take on Atlanta so far? Because I know you're a Texas kid. You started your college career in Texas. Now you're outside the state in Atlanta, Georgia. What's it been like for you in the ATL?
At first, it was a little scary. Like you said, I was from Texas. I've never really been in a big city. But the best thing about this part, the transition was actually easier than what I thought it was going to be. And it wasn't just because, hey, it's Atlanta or not. It's the people inside of this building. It's the people in the locker room. It's the coaching staff. It's the support staff. The way that they just go about their business every day. They're open to everything. Everybody in the locker room, everybody in the building, they just, you feel like that sort of like family vibe. And it's just like you could talk to anybody at any given time, you can carry on a conversation, and it just has a family vibe to it here. And at the same time, everybody gets their job done, and we do everything with a purpose here.
Has made it feel like home from the beginning. Since we're starting to get to know you a little bit, and you are a little further away from home now when you're going to be playing your college ball, what does the Haynes King contingency look like on a game day? Who's coming in, flying into Atlanta next weekend to come watch you as QB1?
At times, I know it'll be rough on my dad. For sure, I know my mom, she's going to be trying to make every game. And it really depends on who she brings that game, or who wants to come, family, friends, stuff like that. So it'll probably change each week.
Who was the first person you called when you got that news that you were the starting quarterback? Who was the first person that gets a call? You name mom and dad, but do you dial both of them and try to get them both?
I mean, it was probably my dad actually texted me because I was told not to tell anybody. They didn't want it leaking out. But at the end of the day, I think my dad was the first one to reach out. Mom was second. They were pretty mad. It was like, why didn't you tell me? Why didn't you tell me? I was like, well, I'm a man of my word. I told him I wasn't going to tell anybody. So.
Have you found any place in Atlanta like the Dixie Chicken there in College Station? Because that's every time I've gone to College Station, I've always found myself with a couple interesting spots. Have you found any place that makes you feel at home in Atlanta?
I tell you one thing. Every now and then, if I feel like I need to gain some weight or want some home cooking, I'll probably go over there to Mary Mac's.
Oh yeah,
Mary Mac's Tea Room.
That's a pretty good spot. By the way, any NIL deals? You working on that at all?
I have not really been working on too many of those. I just kind of let those come to me. Let my game on the field handle all that.
Yeah, that's the right attitude. If it happens, great. If it doesn't, hey, you're there to get a quality education and further for your sake and win a bunch of ball games. I know Georgia Tech fans are ready to do that too.
Yes, sir.
Well, we wish you the best, man. And again, congratulations on the competition. And now the fun begins. And we look forward to watching you against Louisville to start things off in the ACC season.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Thank you for having me on.